It's Walking Chronicles, I think part 1. I didn't get to go hiking today, but I still try to do some type of legit exercises. So I got my weighted vest, it's 30 pounds, and I'm about to do a 2.2 mile walk. And why do you say, damn, Dad, why you gotta do 30 pounds? Because once upon a time, I was 30 pounds heavier. And she was relentless in her pursuit of being healthy and fit. And she pushed hard, and she lost her 30 pounds. And so, in honor of her, because she was a remarkable woman, I will do the 30-pound vest. And I'm not going to say it's easy task to carry 30 extra pounds on a walk this long. But I'm going to be shady right now. I carried some grown-ass men on my back for several years. Okay? So if I was capable enough to carry these broke-ass men on my back for so many years, I could do a 30-pound vest for 2.2 miles. With that said, the health and fitness journey is not easy because I keep plateauing. And although the dresses and the fits say differently, the compliments fit differently. It is not easy to maintain, to address and progress. Every day, every month, every week, and every year. I should order. Not right, but we got the point. So there's been a lot of things going on in my little brain that I want to reflect on. And I don't know who's listening, if the majority of my videos will touch women or it will touch men based on history of my popularity. But I too choose the bear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was a question that was trending, right? Where it's like, if you, as a woman, and you're in the forest, would you rather meet the man or be the bear? And women said the bear. I finally want the bear too. And the awkward pause is me getting sentimental. The hope in humanity. And in the word human, there's the man in there. And with that said, I've been walking with Christ since 2018. And I want to say the end of 2018 because I got baptized December 28th, 2018. And the trials and tribulation of following Christ believing in God, have been difficult. Been difficult. And it's been tested. And I think I'm failing. I think I'm achieving but failing and struggling still. And I think that's part of the road as you narrow. Right? And one of the things that hurts me the most, reflecting on the past several years since 2018, was something that my brother, which I don't talk to now, said to me, is that, some of the stories you tell me make me only conclude that most of your problems come from church. And maybe you need to step away from the church. And the worst part is, I think he may be right. The part where since 2018, all my serious and part of my most devastating crashes, burns, and everything like that have happened within the last 8 years. There was things that happened in my household, in my family, especially when I was trying to walk with Christ, trying to go to church 3 times a week, trying to study the Bible, trying to be a good human being. And I've been tested, pushed, pulled, torn apart, beaten, dismantled, broken in the last 8 years. And I want to say the last 3 years have been brutal. Brutal. Same thing in terms of some of the beautiful, most precious things that I hold value to happened in the last 3 years. But John 3:16, everyone quotes that one, but I like the 3:17 better. For he wasn't sacrificed to condemn us, but to save us. Right? He wasn't placed to condemn us. Because all of the Christian people know, the whole idea of God giving his only son to save us. But that salvation was not to condemn us, And I can't quote a Bible verse, except for I'm getting pretty good at almost quoting Proverbs 26:11. As a dog returns to his vomit, a fool continues its folly. And I might be a word or two off. And in Spanish, Proverbio 26:11, hacia un perro vuelve a su vómito, el necio vuelve a su tontería. At that part, I think the last word I got all messed up. So, why is that one special to me? Because I have it saved as a contact. I never had that. It was so powerful to me to put it as somebody's contact name. Yep. So if they ever hit me up, it reminds me that I shouldn't return. Doesn't matter about the instant gratification, the cheap thrills. This, the little high that I've had that this person created, because he no longer creates it anymore. He decided to be a boy. No, wait, I correct myself. He was always a boy. My brother said a second wise thing. People even in uniform are cowards. But that's a story for another day. But that boy met my inner child. And that boy was Peter Pan. I was his Wendy. And when Wendy decided for more, Peter Pan just ran away. And he forgot about Wendy, her heart, her soul. You know, when you come, and then that's when you start learning. Don't let Peter Pans come back. Close the window. Don't let her come back. And that's where Proverbs 26:11 came from. Because at the same token, you try to be Proverbs 17:17. Love your friends, but become a sister in times of adversity. Or something like that, right? And at this point, if I'm not your wife, I'm not your girlfriend, then I'm your sister. Leave me the fuck alone. Honestly, don't bother me. Because a lot of people, and I want to say, yeah, I'm not into women, so I can't say, women don't do it to other women in homosexual relationships, or men do to men. I don't know how those dynamics work, but when it comes to a man and a woman, a lot of men say they want a Proverbs 31 woman. They want the helpmate. They want to do this. They want to build. They want to conquer it all. And it seems like certain stories are captured well on social media, but we know those things are fake too. And when it comes time to it, the maturity level of understanding of what a Proverbs 31 woman is, men aren't equipped to it. Men are not equipped to emotionally be there through the thick and the thin. Now, I'm not saying women are perfect and we don't have a lot of flaws. I know I have my flaws, but I finally realized I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good person. I offer a lot of beautiful things. Oh, my alarm going off. I offer a lot of beautiful things in relationships, sharing moments. Oh, look, sorry. I gotta take a cardinal. Oh, never mind. There was a cardinal somewhere on the bush. Away. And there was playing with his mate as we speak about relationships. But I'm not saying I'm a pretty good human being. I've come a long, long way understanding and piggybacking. I like who I am. I think I'm beautiful, although I've aged and the bags under my eyes are the hurt. Yeah, it still hurts. Life still hurts. Oh, it's a beautiful bird. It was like, I don't know what female cardinals look like. They have, gone into the branches. But anyway, from the, crying, dealing with my emotions, dealing with my feelings, because I'm so sick and tired of just suckering it up. And I fucking feel I'm not human. I'm not robotic. I'm human. I have a personality. It's pretty awesome. A lot of people say it's pretty awesome. But I've been chosen to be their entertainment, not chosen to be taken care of, respected, and kept. You know, sometimes I wonder, was it my fault? Was it my fault that I chose the easy access route and hope that, someone will finally respect me, even though we met on non-respectable ways? Then you hear all the stuff that women go through. And then I wonder, do men really love women? Or do they really deep down inside hate us? Hate us because we can endure. They hate us because we have endured. We've prospered on a different level than they have. Do they hate us because not only can we be prosperous in material things like job, employment, cash, wealth, whatever, and now emotionally and intelligently, intellectually, that even we have proven our strength as well, physical attributes. Women, if we really wanted to hone it all in, who would survive? Men versus women. And then this is where I heard about videos where men have stated, oh, I treat my wife like a flower because I have to remind myself that I'm a strong being and I could snap their necks, blah, blah, blah. And I saw a woman retort. She's like, in the same way, you could snap our necks immediately, we could take our time. Whew! Did that settle? And then I wonder, I see these broken relationships, broken on both sides. The woman's not happy, the man's not happy, but they're all together on a facade. Like, do we even really love each other anymore? Do we even really love each other? Everything's transactional. And I don't know, when I say that it hurts me so much. No, I do. Because I've been a transaction myself. Convenience comes with the price. Ooh, the airplane! It's much closer. I'm wondering where it came from. But I have an app that can check, but by the time I check, I'll be gone. So where was I? ADHD is a powerful thing, you know? Forgot totally what I was talking about. Oh yeah, questioning. Do we actually love each other anymore? And because I say that, everything is a transaction, and therefore I've been a transaction, and that's why it hurts. I have been a transaction. I have been accessible to too many whack-ass people, and they've played me for convenience. Because that was convenient. They will never tell me to my face, but their actions have told me time and time again. The part that gets me is I don't understand why people think other people are stupid. Why do they think they're the only smart person in the room? That I have special talents, that I don't showcase them because I hide myself all the time, because no one gets to know me except first you get to know me after 20 years. You know what a beautiful person I am. And I say that jokingly because I have some friends that know me from my youth. And youth, like, 15 to 17 years ago, in my Jezebel era. So at this point, I'll take the bear. Just let them take me. At least I know if there's two choices, either I could get away by providing food and distracting him and getting away, or I know it's imminent death from the jump. And, and that was already a guarantee in life anyway, so I could deal with that. Today I packed a box, which is the first time I think I did that. For any ex. And I can't even say this was an ex. This was a situation in which I stayed too long in. Like I said, a boy. In the right light. He would have been a great man. Then he says, one time I heard him say, "Oh yeah, she talks about God now, but she can't, has nothing about scriptures in her conversation. Well, I'll give you another scripture, sir. Romans 12:19. I think that one's it. Leave vengeance to me, because I am the Lord. Something to that nature. Pretty much telling me don't be angry. Give it to him. He'll take care of it. So I say that. And once again, I'll always be okay. Revelations 21:4. A sweet promise that he'll wipe away all my tears, my sorrow, my pain. But in the meantime, I think it's Ephesians 2:14. I will do with my mouth closed. And if you want to know, another one is Jeremiah 33:3. I think it's 33:3. I call on to God, call on to me, and I shall be there. That's why people, the number 333, sometimes it's angel numbers or whatever, spiritual. And they said, once I heard, oh, look at your birthday and look up the Bible verses associated to your birthday. 821 has a couple good ones. But those I haven't memorized. I haven't learned them. Like I said, Proverbs 26:11 is the only one that I know so far. So, then the same person said that one of our responsibilities as Christians is to testify our encounters with God. And I remember him stating to me that he wishes to have an encounter with God. He had an encounter with God in his youth. And that's what pretty much got him to study the Bible, be Christian and whatnot. That's great. But obviously you didn't learn much from that situation, buddy. Because once he started teaching you, you should have kept walking the same path. And then you detour and you request the respect of a good Christian person when you're pretty much the main character from Proverbs, Songs of Solomon or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know if there's a separate chapter. I know I'm just doing audio, and Proverbs has a lot of good ones. Talks about fools and all that good stuff. Yeah. And then if you want to find it, there is that verse where all women should take heed of, men, all they do is lie. Maybe I'm not meant to memorize that one yet, because I don't remember that one. But I've seen it on the TikTok. It's underlined and highlighted, and so where do I meet my bear? Take me out now. Bless me with one of the guarantees of life. take me out now. Because dealing with wretched men, or humanity, so to speak, because you gotta be inclusive, right? You gotta include the females that do the same thing, that live in their masculine energy. I have no idea how that works. Speaking as a biologically feminine woman, heterosexual woman, don't know how the rest of that shit works. And for that reason, going back to what my brother says, that some of the turmoil in my life has only been produced by the church. And the worst part is, I should have known better. When I started believing in the men of church, because nonetheless they are men. Hey, it was men of church that crucified my Jesus, right? It was men of church that called for crucifixion. It was men of church that condemned and persecuted all Christians after Jesus' crucifixion. It's men of church that were still fighting crusades. It's men of church that created things such as the Holocaust. It's men of church that have taken away so many things that are beautiful in women. And some women can't survive. Where's my bear? Please don't be disguised in a suit of a bear just to savor me. Because that's the next thing. In a joking manner, someone wears a bear costume, knocks on my door and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Which is not what I want. I've read Ephesians, and I use the term lightly and loosely when I say reading. It's audiobook. Ephesians, and what a man's supposed to do and how he's supposed to die every day and sacrifice to his church. He sacrifices himself for God. He sacrifices himself for his woman. But what happens if the woman's like Jezebel? And Jezebel holds the Bible. At least in the Bible, Jezebel actually did not believe in the Hebrew God. She believed in Belial. She owned her truth. But nowadays, with sin so ingrained into our DNA that we fake everything. We fake the idea of being a good Christian because we know all these Bible verses. We wear long skirts. We never dye our hair. We're more righteous. Sure you are. I'm no perfect human being. I'm very flawed. I love my flaws now, more than I ever did before. I still hold myself to a high standard, only because I've gotten used to it. You know, I expect high standards and that people live by high standards. Come to realize at my ripened age, a lot of people live by mediocrity, and they're okay with it. I don't understand if that's because that's what they believe they deserve, or they don't know any better themselves. I don't know if I'm the ex that men wish they had because I was the one that got away. I don't know. I don't want to be the one that got away. I want to be the one someone finally decided to keep. I hate to know that someone has dealt with me and they're not even afraid to lose me. Because the door closes eventually. The door will close. And they'll never hear from me again. Ask my exes. Ask my daughter. Ask my brother. Ask my dad. Ask the family members that only can see me as a Facebook tweet or post or TikTok. And I have pictures of my youth and all that stuff, but no connections to any of the past. I have only one ex that hits me up, and it's only because he hits me up. I don't look for him. And I entertained him, talked, but I choose not to deal with him. I was young and dumb. I was 19 years old. But he remembers me fondly. He remembers me fondly. Sad to know that people are so willing to fumble me. But the way I see it now, because even though I personally take it as rejection, yep, I see it as them rejecting me, but it's technically their fumble, right? They fumbled me. They will miss out on something awesome. I am not losing anything when you realize that they had a lot of shortcomings and they were basically an imposter. I'm low-key talking shade about the person who's recently passed me off, and it's okay, I guess. The worst part is I didn't want him to be a villain in the story. good one for next video. Good next video. But as of right now, I just gotta take a walk and stay healthy and take care of myself and entertain myself. Tomorrow is a holiday for many mothers. I'm a mom, but I have my mixed feelings. No regrets, mixed feelings. Everyone has a different perspective. I know I did the best I could with no guidance, no support. You know? It's a beautiful night. And I'm torn on what I want to do. The crazy part is Milford, the town, is calling my name. And the airplanes too. This one's hard. This one's hard. I ask for God a lot to ease my heart. I've never felt this much pain. I've felt pain before. I cried a lot before. But I never cried this much. I keep telling myself I'm going to be okay. And I am, right? I wouldn't tell myself I'm going to be okay until I actually am. And some days are better than others. That's for sure. And as you reflect and talk about stuff, you got to be realistic with yourself, you know? Life is not an easy pill to swallow. Life is not an easy pill to swallow. And you really hope at one point you're blessed because you try to be a good person. But some of the things that God promises are not in this lifetime. They are not in this lifetime. I don't know if I want a pizza. And then maybe go play pool or watch a movie. I did my lawn. Although I'm growing crap on it, I like my lawn. I like what I do. Well, did 2.2 miles in 44 minutes and 19 seconds. Now it's time to walk my dog. Video 2.